Uh, Dr. Sukhdev, I hope you can hear my voice.
Yes.
Okay. So, okay. Good morning to one and all again. Now we are moving to the second session, that is application of ICT, which will be delivered by Dr. Sukhdev Singh. I think most of you have already attended his first lecture, that is research ethics, plagiarism and citation, that was held on 15th, second session also on that day. And I think many of were not in that session, and a few more had added today. So let me introduce again to our participants that Dr. Sukhdev Singh has done his PhD from Jawaharlal Nehru University and currently working as an assistant professor in the Department of Humanities and Social Sciences in National Institute of Technology, Patna. He works in the area of gender studies. Basically, he's an English teacher, and he's having more than 10 years of teaching experiences, and he's engaged with various projects funded by TechTube, and he's an award-winning writer of short stories. He has delivered this type of topic, basically the plagiarism and citation in different state level and central institutions. And I'm sure his expertise will help our participants. And with this, I formally invite you to join this session to deliver a topic on application of ICT to our participants. Thank you. Over to you, sir.
Thank you, Deepak.
Now the floor is yours.
Thank you. I'll share my screen.
Yes.
Okay. I think it's visible now.
Yes, it is visible.
Okay, so thank you, Deepak, for this opportunity to present my views on this very important topic, which is information and communications technology in education, especially with respect to the current scenario, which is the COVID-19 scenario. Online teaching and learning has now become, very important. So I'll straight away begin with the definitions, as earlier also I started with the definitions. So let's move to the definitions first. Okay, as far as definitions are concerned, ICT's full form is Information and Communications Technology, and this time I brought the definition from Oxford Advanced Learners Dictionary, and it defines ICT, or Information and Communications Technology, as a study with the use of the following: for instance, computers, the internet, video, and other related technologies. Right. So this is how Advanced Learners Dictionary defines it, and it is also viewed as an academic subject. That's why you will see that we have engineering courses also, electronics and communications engineering. So courses like ECE, branches like ECE. So it is an academic subject also. Not just that it is a study of the use of the computers, internet, video, and other related technologies, but it is also an academic subject which is taught and learned at the university level. And as far as ICT is concerned, we view it as an umbrella term. That is, under the term of ICT, so many other terms come, so many other concepts come. For instance, devices like radio, television, cell phones, computer and other network hardware, satellite systems. So all these come under ICT. And when we list out these terms, these different devices, we see that there is an evolution which is happening. So from radio to television to cell phones to computers to satellite systems, right? So recently, I don't know how many of you have heard that people are now trying to get the internet through satellites. So satellite systems have also come, and all these technologies, all these ICT technologies or communication devices are used in today's teaching, which is mostly done online. And it becomes very important, especially with respect to the current COVID-19 situation, when face-to-face classrooms are not possible or are avoided. Let's move to next. So, what was the scenario before the ICT? The scenario before the ICTs was very traditional. We can say it was a traditional kind of a scenario in which the classroom was a medium for giving knowledge. But what kind of knowledge? Disciplinary kind of knowledge. And what the teacher's job was to instill the basics, very basics, in students' head. There is some sort of a disciplinary sort of knowledge would be imparted in the classroom before the use and application of ICT in education. And the teacher's job was to put something in students' head, whatever was given in syllabus, etc. So when we see this classroom where ICT is not available, we see it as a sort of one-way transaction. So transaction is from teacher's point of view. That is, teacher's position is as all-knowing, the omniscient, omnipotent teacher who knows everything. And students, if I take Charles Dickens' term, empty pictures. So students are viewed as empty pictures in which the all-knowing teacher fills the knowledge. So that was the scenario before the introduction of ICT in education system. What it focused was, it focused on reading, writing, arithmetic. These were the three main focus areas of classroom before the ICT's introduction. Although reading, writing, arithmetic, all these things are used in these classes also, in which ICT is applied, but still we make a distinction. And the nature of knowledge in such classroom was that you are supposed to, the learner is supposed to know the given list of items. That is, if this is the syllabus which has been given and approved by different institutions, so you cannot go beyond that. This is the given list of items in the syllabus. You need to have a mastery over it. This was the way classrooms were held before the ICT. And what were the things which you needed to know in that sort of classroom or education system? You needed to know grammar, which obviously we need to know in today's scenario also. But ICT as a tool, if we see ICT as a tool, then you see with this tool, we make certain changes in learning and acquiring knowledge or education. So that's the difference. We learn grammar today also, but the way we learn it is slightly different. If I give you just a slight example from the way I have been teaching here. So recently I just gave some sort of an activity in which I gave some extracts to my students, to my engineering students, and I told them you need to record them on your phone and upload the files on Microsoft Teams. So they would learn to speak words correctly or incorrectly. At least they will get a practice, but this will be done differently. So through the information and communications technology, I am trying to teach them how to pronounce. And in this, you might also observe that student is in full control of learning and teaching methods. I've given them the tool, I've given them the direction as their teacher, but everything depends on the students. So the teacher's role in ICT is minimized, and in classroom before the ICT, teacher's role was rather more, right? So we learn it today also, grammar, arithmetic, history, but the way we learn it is different. And in classroom before the ICT, you might also observe that there were right answers and there were wrong answers. So in a given questions, in a list of given questions, teacher would be looking for the right answers only. But in the ICT, that is not the case, right? There is no right, no wrong. that kind of situation goes in classes in which ICT is the tool. And finally, in the classroom before the ICT, one observes that teacher is presented as the figure of authority, because this is the assumption which classes before the ICT have, that teacher knows everything, right? That's why the older teachers figure, if we see, that's why the older teachers figure, if we see, is shown with this cane in his or her hand, right? So the cane is the symbol of authority here, just like kings used to have a cane in their hands. So teacher was the king before before the ICT, but now teacher's role is minimized and more role is of the learner. So teacher's role was as the figure of authority. What was the result of such classrooms, such education system before the ICT? It shaped the learners to be inducted in a traditional type of a workforce, because ultimately education's objective previously was to create the workforce. So the workforce would be inducted in the traditional sphere, where the skills will be less, right? And in this traditional workplace, the employee who was a student a few years ago, now he or she is the employee. Some sort of a deference, or let's say respect is expected from that person, that the person should bow down in front of the authority. So this was the result of the education system before the introduction of ICT. With the ICT, it does not mean that students stop respecting their teachers, or students stop respecting, when they join an organization, their employers. That's not the case. The thing is that the authority figure disappears. The sense of equality creeps in. Whether you are an employer, whether you are an employee, the sense of equality creeps in because of the way ICT as tools are used for teaching in the classes. So what was the scenario before? That it equipped the learners with minimal skills. They didn't have much skills. And as a result, they produced similar type of and submissive type of citizens. So that was the effect or result of classes or education system before the ICT. With ICT, it changes. Now, ICT, information and communications technologies, didn't come just overnight. It took time. So in Britain, in UK, during the 1980s, what was happening? This technology was developing. So what they were doing, there's this reference to this university called Open University in UK. So this university developed a system called Cyclops, in which they created a system which was called audiographic system, in which audio and graphics were used, just like we are using in today's time, PPTs and others, but they were slightly different. They were not as evolved as our tools are. So they were using these audiographic systems, in which telephone used to be used for deliverance of the content to the learners, and teacher would communicate with them in real time. So this was a system called Cyclops, which they developed, which was based in the audiographic system with the medium of telephones. So content from teacher side would be communicated to the learners over telephone in this audiographic system, right? Then comes University of Guelph from Ontario. They developed in the 1980s itself, they developed another system called COSY or COSY. It was a text-based online learning. They would use telephone systems, and they would generate text, and then they would try to collaborate and learn. Thirdly, a little later, then came the dial-up modems. They were even these dial-up modems were Okay, I am back online. I'll just share my screen.
Go ahead, sir.
This is the little down loophole in communications technology, that if light is not there or something happens to the connection, then this is what you get. Anyways, well, can you see the screen? I hope you can see the
Yes,
screen.
yes, please proceed. Yes.
Okay, okay. And is it also showing my face? No?
No, no.
Okay, good, good. Okay. Yeah, so I had spoken about how it evolved in the 1980s, right? And then what was the impact or the result of this kind of a technology? That somehow technology became cheaper and it became user friendly, and it also became slightly reliable. Although reliability, we can still question the reliability of technology, because these things keep on happening with us. And another important factor that we should keep in mind is that somehow technology was becoming ubiquitous. That is, it was coming to all different spheres, not just education, but all other spheres. So it was dominating in other domains also, right? And the result was this, that it was trying to change the way we learn things, the way we teach things, right? So entire education system, entire process of acquiring knowledge was being changed. So radical changes were coming in the society, in our behavior, in our way of thinking, in our way of interacting with each other. Because in today's time, if we see, with the use of the cell phone, WhatsApp, Facebook, etc., rather than meeting face to face, first we meet the people online. So these kind of radical changes had started coming in. They may not have come to our country, but they were happening in Europe as well as America, right? But still there were challenges, and challenges are always good. Still there were challenges. There were challenges. What were the challenges? The questions were being asked: do we desire it? Such kind of technology which is actually interfering with our personal space. If I want to use Google Maps, so Google Map will ask my location, right? So do I desire such kind of interference in my life? Do I want to give where I am with my device to Google Maps, to Google, in order to get the sense of my physical surroundings, to use the map? If I use um, an app, let's say Ola Cab app, so it will also ask for my location. It wants to read the SMSs, etc. So if I want to use these technologies, I will have to do away with, at least to a certain extent, my privacy. So the challenges were this: do we desire it? Do I need it? And another challenge was how to organize it, because it was almost like an explosion. Like today, you go to an app store, whether through Apple's App Store or Windows or Google's, right? So you will see that so many apps are there. So which app do I need? Which app is good for me? So this kind of different technologies were emerging during that time, and people were also finding it difficult to organize it. Same is with the data these days. We use the term like big data. So how to organize it? The data's size is, humongous. It's unimaginable. And the third challenge that people were facing: what was the appropriate application of such information and communications technologies which were dominating the world, which had started to dominate the world? So these were the three challenges. Do we need them? How to organize them? And what is their appropriate application? Now, gradually we see a term evolving called Web 2.0. Web 2.0, in very basic, in a nutshell, means the technologies, ICT technologies, information and communications technologies, in which user becomes the focus. User generates the knowledge, user generates the content, and user consumes it also and makes other people also consume. So all these different technologies or different platforms in Web 2.0, whether it's Wikipedia or Wiki we call it, right? So as a user of Wiki, I can also contribute to the knowledge. So that's the difference between Web 1.0 and 2.0. In Web 2.0, user's nature is participatory. User participates in the technology. In 1.0, user was sort of a passive recipient. Okay. For instance, learning through television or learning through radio. So television and radios were mediums of learning earlier, but in this process, learning through television or radio, you would be the passive recipient. You would not be able to participate. But Web 2.0 technologies, they brought revolution in the way that the user becomes engaged with it immensely. So user generates the content. So what is the key feature or the idea behind it? Individually produced content. Content is produced by individually. User generates the content, right? And deals with a huge amount of data, because the amount of data that is created, because as many as there are users, the data size would be exponentially as compared to them. A single person, you or me, can create huge amount of data. And the nature was participatory, that everybody can participate in it. Any user can participate in it. And what are the services and applications which were being used? Blogs, the the premier blog which is provided by Blogger, by Google. Another one is WordPress. Wikis were there. Multimedia sharing like YouTube and Flickr. Flickr is for photos. YouTube is for videos. Audio blogging or podcasting, we call it. That is also there. Social networking is also part of Web 2.0, Facebook, Twitter, and all these technologies of Web 2.0 are used in teaching and learning with the application of ICT, or as application of ICT. Now, let us see, the new type of teacher which emerges. In pre-ICT days, in education system, teacher was an authoritative, omniscient, omnipotent kind of a person. But now the teacher becomes merely a facilitator. Teacher's job is to provide something to the students as far as ICT are concerned through the ICT. So, according to Kalensis and Co., they gave the model of teacher as designer and manager of learning. So we design learning as teachers by using these different tools in ICT. We design learning and we manage it. That's the only role that the teacher has in today's atmosphere. We are the designers and the managers of learning, right? We are not the authoritative figure anymore. So what happens in this model where teacher is designer and manager of learning? It's the students who collaborate. Students are the ones who collaborate, and they collaborate through networked computers. They create groups in themselves, and teacher can instruct them that you can create groups, and teacher can manage the groups. In Teams also, they have in Microsoft Teams also they have something called breakout groups or breakout rooms or classrooms. So in breakout rooms or classrooms, you can create those small groups of the students. In case if you're teaching language, for instance, I teach language here, so I can create those breakout groups, and I can fix the settings in which students can be automatically fixed. I don't need to choose the student and fix them in those groups. They will be divided automatically by MS Teams. So they can be fixed automatically. I just need to go in different groups one by one to check and monitor whether they are discussing properly or not, or to give them some instructions if I would like to. So these kind of groups can be created automatically in MS Teams and in many other. MS Team is actually still very far behind as compared to Zoom. Anyway, so these are the different applications. So students work in groups, and there is no need for a physical classroom, no need to be present physically in the classroom. So physical presence of the teacher as well as student is not at all mandatory now. And because physical presence is not at all mandatory, that's why this type of education occurs or is imparted to different participants. Let's call them participants or learners 24/7. It's not that 9 to 5 kind of a job anymore. So it's 24/7. And if I give you my own example, so when this coronavirus happened, so I thankfully learned a course from University of New South Wales, Sydney. So this course teaches you online teaching, how to teach online teaching. The course's name is Learning to Teach Online. I would suggest everybody to go and take this course from a platform called Coursera. So in this course, the designer of the course never appeared physically except in videos which were pre-recorded, and everything we were supposed to do, even grading of the students. So I was given to grade 3 fellow students, and I was graded by some other students. Teachers never did this. And the computer programs, they graded everything automatically. Teams also have this grading system. So most of my assignments and most of my activities are self graded. I don't grade them, system automatically grades them. So this is how you work through ICT. This is the use of the ICT. So you can work from home because physical requirement is not there, right? And you can also create your own collaborative area where you want to create, right? Like the breakout rooms, right? And if you have problem in working from home, then you can obviously use your institution's information resource center, which in other terms means computer center, right? So information resource center you can use, or the computer center you can use, right? And in this you use social networking, right? And you create students portfolios. This creation of students portfolio is very, very important. Not just students portfolio, but teachers should also create portfolios. Like we create our portfolio on LinkedIn, and we have our sort of a portfolio or profile on our educational websites also, right? And similarly, we can use other websites also. And I will also give you some sort of a hands-on training in today's session itself to create this e-portfolio, something called e-portfolio. So you will learn to create the e-portfolio in today's session also. And assessment by the peers, right? So assessment by the peers also I refer to just now, that in that UNSW course, we were assessing rest of the students and other students were assessing me, right? So this is what the role of student and teacher becomes within the context of ICT or with the application of ICT. And this network nodes that you over here see, this is the map of the internet. This is how the internet looks like. Okay, some people have been working on this. Some scientists have created this map. So this is the map of internet. This is how we are connected. Looks like a galaxy. Anyways, so through ICT, we come to another concept, which is blended learning. And blended learning is, I think, I would suggest, all the teachers that we should opt for blended learning, whether there is coronavirus or there is no coronavirus. Okay, so blended learning means it is a mix of face-to-face learning, which is the very traditional kind of a learning, the physically present teacher-student classroom, and also online learning. So when you blend them, when you mix them, you get the blended learning, right? So what is the effect of this kind of learning? It is flexible, right? And the learning experience is individualized. So each student learns in her or his own way. Each student learns differently, right? And similarly, teachers also expand the time in the sense that teachers are also available 24/7, right? They don't need to have a fixed time to be present to serve their students, to facilitate things to their students. They can stretch the time, right? And sometimes even if they are not present in blended learning, even if they are not physically present, or even they are not online present, whatever material they have made available to their students, that will do the wonders. Okay. Now, this is just an organization Dreambox. So I'm using their models of blended learning, and this model is not just Dreambox's model. Other people also have the similar or slightly different model of blended learning. So 5 or 6 types of blended learning models are there. One is the face-to-face driver model, right? This model is especially applied in case of struggling students. So if I give example of my own institution, so in our institution, you would observe that large number of students come from the rural areas, so they have several sort of problems. If I talk about English, then they have problem in pronunciation, right? So we can use different technologies which are provided by ICT, and then with the use of these different technologies, we can pinpoint them, and also we can help them with these different tools, right? So the struggling students, in the case of struggling students, we can apply it, and when they will use it, then they can self-pace their progress. It's not that they need to complete the syllabus, or they need to appear for some sort of an end semester examination, etc. Not like that. Since they are the struggling students, they can extend the timing, they can go beyond the end sem exams and other things, and teachers themselves can design the exams. Not necessarily that the entire institution is going for this ritual called end sem exam. No need to go for that. So the struggling students can take more time because they have been pacing, they are moving on their own pace. This ICT will provide them that scope, that they can pace their own progress. They might not appear at the end sem exam, they will create their own exam, in the sense with the direction of the teacher, rather than appearing for end sem exam when everybody appears. So this is the kind of face-to-face driver model it is, and it is mostly effective in English language learning, and use of whiteboards is also applied over here. Whiteboard, if you have Windows 10, then you can see the whiteboard. I will show you where whiteboard is. When you go to the taskbar, if you're seeing my screen, go to the taskbar. This sign you will see Windows Ink Workspace. Then you will click this. Over here you will see the whiteboard. And if I show you my whiteboard, so you can over here see these are all my classes in the whiteboard form, right? So for instance, last time when I was teaching problem solving in engineering, so this is that whiteboard, and this whiteboard is infinite. If I tell you about whiteboard, it never ends, right? When it opens, I'll show you how it looks. So you can add photographs, you can add tables, you can add different links, you can add PPTs over here in the whiteboard. I hope it opens. So these are all my classes which I have taught here since coronavirus. And if you are having some sort of artistic aptitude, then you can create your own art also through the whiteboard. But whiteboard can be used like this. It is not opening right now. Anyways. Oh, it's open. Yeah. So this is how you can use the whiteboard, and you will see you can enlarge it, you can fix the photos, you can fix other illustrations, right? So I was teaching them problem solving in engineering, and this is how you could use different tools, and with these different tools you can make teaching also interesting. Incidentally, yeah, so this is how you can use different tools like whiteboard, and it comes with your device in Windows 10. If you have a Windows 10 device, so it comes with it. Okay, so this was the whiteboard. Anyways, so you can use the whiteboard also, right? So in face-to-face driver model, this is what you will do. Then comes the rotation model. Rotation model is in which the learning time is fixed. Okay, so schedule of learning is fixed. What happens is the student rotates. Okay, student rotates because the time for learning is either online or face to face. Okay, because we are talking about blended learning, so it is either online or face to face. So student will be with the teacher at one time only, so it that time will be either face to face or the online time. So student then will rotate from online to face to face to online. So this kind of a loop will be created in which the student will have the advantage of both the things. Because many times, again, if I give you example of my own classes, the new students which I'm teaching this semester, they are finding it perhaps slightly odd because they have just come out from the long years of face to face teaching and learning. So they are trying to have a hang of it. Okay, so this could happen with all the students. That's why this kind of a rotation model is required, in which students can rotate from online to face to face, and from face to face to online, so that both ways they can learn, and whichever they find appropriate and most useful, they can apply in their learning. Then comes the flex model, which is in the classroom. So what happens is you are part of a classroom, but the material is provided to you online. In this, student, through the help of online material, self guides. So she or he will guide himself or herself. Okay, so this is what happens in flex model. So teacher will also be present there in the class, but almost insignificant. Okay, only when student is facing some sort of a problem. Otherwise, teacher is almost dormant, not active, present in the classroom physically, but almost inactive. What is the objective? The objective is that students or learners learn to practice in digital atmosphere. This is a way, flex model in the classroom is a way to make them introduce to the digital atmosphere, which is imminent, which is the ultimate reality in today's education, right? And this is guided by the teacher. Next is online lab model. So I teach language lab also. So my lab has become now online. Whatever the components were there in the actual lab, which the students were learning by sitting on their computers, now the same material I provide them through MS Teams, right? So what is online lab model is that it is completely online, right? And all the courses or designated lab, etc., they are all there online, in which you will complete all the given assignments, and you will learn also, right? So and they also talk about that such online labs are useful for cutting on budgets, etc. And online lab model is also self-paced, and in the student will learn whatever will suit them. Then comes the self blend model. So in the self blend model, this model is used as a supplementary, that is, it is not the primary focus, but it can be used with face to face teaching and learning. So what happens in self blend model is that student will opt for additional courses which are online. The education is entirely in face-to-face model, but besides this, in addition to face-to-face learning, student would opt for online courses. So for instance, in India also this system has started. For instance, NPTEL is there, SWAYAM is there, right? So even if we are part of online, face-to-face teaching and learning, yet students and even teachers also take these courses, can opt for NPTEL and SWAYAM courses, which can be credited to their face-to-face teaching credits and grades. right? So this is the self-blend model. In this, what happens is student can opt for those things which are most interesting to him or her, right? Many times what happens is that we teachers live in our own world and we forget about whether the student understands us or not, whether we need to make our lectures interesting or not, right? So that kind of thing also happens, and syllabuses are generally very, you know uh, um, old fashioned or outmoded also. Sometimes so many things are included in syllabuses which perhaps may not be compatible with today's generation is a mobile generation, right? So all those things, and if you go to NPTEL, swim, etc., they have traditional courses as well as non-traditional courses, right? And Coursera and edX edX, etc., those platforms are international platforms. Over there also you will see different courses, right? If I'm interested in photography, I can do a course in photography. So this self-blend model is also helpful for students. Then comes online driver model. In this, everything is provided online. So material is given online, right? But you can do a face-to-face check-in also. And teaching is online, interaction is online, communication is online, everything is online. And this is useful for those who want flexibility, because if not in our time, at least in let's say my father's generation's time, there was this need for daytime working as well as going to the night school for learning, right, for their education. In today's time, uh, when you are young, you can learn rather than earn. So this kind of a online driver model is useful, especially for those who perhaps want to do work, but they also want to learn. So it is beneficial, so that it is beneficial in the sense that they can create flexibility and independence in learning, right? Because all this is self-paced. There is no time limit also. So this was the last model from Dreambox. Now we come to educational resources, because ICT perhaps is all about what kind of resources do we have. And as far as resources are concerned, because in ICT, when we apply ICT in education, then we see, most of the resources we will find online. Okay, because teaching is online. So what are these open educational resources which are accessible to everybody free of cost? Okay, these are digitized materials. For instance, ebooks are there, audio books are there, right? Some free learning management systems are there. We can call Zoom as well as Microsoft Teams, etc., and even Google Classrooms as learning management systems. Sometimes they are free, sometimes you have to pay, right? So they are digitized. Material is freely available. Something called Creative Commons. So most of the licenses are given by Creative Commons. That is, it can be used for educational purposes without any commercial use, right? And all this material is meant for teachers, students, and even for those who are self-learners. That is, the whole domain of internet is your oyster as teachers, as learners, right, to utilize. And what happens is, since it is online, since it is in digitized form, it can be used and reused in teaching and research, right? So the same lecture, the previous lecture, this current lecture is fresh out of oven, right? But the previous lecture that I gave, I have presented that lecture, to other organizations also. So, but this one is fresh out of the oven. So previous lecture was used and reused because it was in digitized form, right? So material open educational resources under ICT, they're available in digitized form. That's why they can be recycled and they can be reused, which is a good thing, which is not a bad thing, right? And then what are the components in this? Learning content. And what are the learning contents? Obviously courses are there, modules are there, journals are there, All these are in digitized forms, and most of them are available free of cost. And the tools softwares are there, right? Again, softwares can be used and reused, and they are there to deliver the content. LMSs are there, that is learning management systems are there, like Google Classroom or Microsoft Teams. Right now we are using Microsoft Teams, right? And Zoom is there. Many other learning platforms are there, and there is very famous LMS called Moodle. Moodle is there. Although I've not used Moodle so far because my institution gives me access to Microsoft Teams. So Moodle is there, which is very old one. And then the implementation happens. LMSs are there. Then content development tools are there. For instance, making of e-portfolio. So those kind of things are there. How you make a PDF, you convert file from one form to another, right? You make audio files, you use cloud to store your data. So all those kind of content development tools are there, and also online learning communities are there. If you are adventurous enough, you can participate in those communities also, right? And the implementation is based on these licenses. For instance, the Creative Commons licenses, right? Because if they are not open source, they are not under the Creative Commons license, if they are not openly used and reused, then obviously knowledge will not spread. For the dissemination of knowledge, such kind of licenses are used so that people can have an access free of cost, right? And then content is also localized. um, then we come to the assessment tools. When we are giving tools to our students to learn, and when we are using these ICT tools to teach, then there comes the assessment part also. One assessment, I've already told you that peer assessment can be done, that students will assess themselves rather than teacher doing it. Another one I had given you was auto grading. Auto grading can be done by Microsoft Forms. In my in different assignments, I use mostly Microsoft Forms because my institution allows it. Plus, I also personally subscribe to Microsoft, so with a monthly charge. So they also give me access, right? Larger access. And Google Forms can also be used for the same purpose, for creating quizzes, for creating many other exciting assignments, etc., right? And Google Forms can also be used something called Flubro. If you are interested, we can go for this small introduction of Flubro, which is very interesting, and perhaps one of you might also use Flubro with Google. I'll just go and show you this little tutorial in Flubro. Just a little tutorial.
With Flubro, you can quickly break into Flubro. I created a fake assignment as a Google form, and I submitted it. All of the submissions were automatic.
Disconnected. Disconnect. क्या हो गया फिर? सुखदेव जी का कट गया फिर ना, आ गए हैं। Dr. Sukhdev, can you hear me? Am I audible?
Yeah.
I think you don't have any file now. We are not seeing any file. Are you showing any file?
I'll just share the screen. Just a moment.
Oh, okay. Go ahead.
Why disconnected? Anyways, so can you see my screen now?
Yes. Please
Okay.
go ahead.
So this is a very small thing called Flubro. So I just start it from the beginning. I think you missed it.
Comments or feedback to Dave and Kumar.
So this was a little, little tutorial of using Flubru with Google Forms, right? So ICT gives you this kind of assessment tools also, which are widely available, sometimes freely available, sometimes you have to pay for them, right? And these are very helpful in online teaching and learning. That's the power of ICT that we can apply in day-to-day teaching. And there are other ways also, like something called top grade quiz maker. I have not used it, and Moodle, that I know about, but I have not used it, right? But others like Microsoft Forms and Google Forms, right? So these two assessment tools I've used. Since I subscribe to Microsoft, that's why for my online assessment I mostly use the Microsoft Forms. Anyways, so online assessment is also can be done through application of ICT. Now we move further in online teaching. So we can use blogs for teaching, right? And one of the prime blog provider is Blogger, which is by Google. So this is free of charge, and it also functions like a website. And content, as far as is concerned, you can post anytime, 24/7, and it is a multimedia rich platform. It is searchable, and it creates automatic date stamp and creates automatic menu system. And there are different softwares or plugins which we can use to create some sort of function which can be added to the website, right? So blogs in a nutshell can be used for teaching. Blogs can be used, even people use YouTube, people use Flickr also, right? People use Twitter. When I was learning how to teach online, so over there I saw many teachers in Australia who were using Twitter or Flickr to teach their students. So these things can be used, right? All are part of ICT or Web 2.0. So blogs can also be used. I picked up one instance because you cannot discuss everything. So blogs. So what are the types? What are the types of these blogs for teaching and learning? You can create a class blog for a class, whether it's social sciences class or engineering class. So you can create that. Students can create some sort of a reflective diary in which they are reflecting upon different topics, because reflection creates the original thinking. The original thinking which I was talking about in last session. So that original thinking can come when you reflect on certain topics. You can create e-portfolios, which I will tell you how to create. An e-portfolio is a repository of digital assets which are produced during a course. That is, in e-portfolio you can keep different types of assets or documents which will help you create your profile online as a student, as a teacher also, right? So you can use this for your own advancement in life, for jobs and other things also. So it starts with your student life itself. And in blogs are also video blogs, discussion blogs, right? And you can also use they can be part of students assessment, right? Videos are there, discussions, Google Docs, Microsoft Forms, slides. So all these can be used in blogs, right? Teachers can also use blogs. Students can use blog for writing or homework, and websites can also be created on blogs by different institutions. Now let us come to e-portfolios. Why e-portfolio is important? Because through e-portfolio, not only the individual student can track her or his progress, academic progress, and otherwise also, but educational institutions can also use e-portfolios to create data about how their students are doing, right? So e-portfolio is a sort of a website which students can create for themselves, and it is also it's also become a sort of a way to present yourself professionally, because your data will be available online. And through this you can enhance your learning, because you will keep a record of your assignments, in your e-portfolio, you will keep a record of how much grades you had got, and then you can compare your grade from this semester with the previous one, right? So these kind of comparisons you can do, right? You can keep the feedback of your teacher also, right? So that you can keep on comparing and then try to find faults or trying to find shortcomings in your academic career and then improve on them, right? So you can enhance your learning, you can keep a track of whatever you learned, and it has become a way of engagement. And e-portfolio can also be used for showcasing your work. And while showcasing the work, you can use different media. You can, as already told, you can compare your present work with the previous one. You can do reflective writing, which is the integral part of blogging. You can also make connection between your classes, semesters, and even personal life. So you can always make connections, and you can always see how what you learned in humanities class can be applied to your engineering or your science class. So those ideas you pick from one class and you can apply in other class. So this way you can make connections. That is, when you are recording your ideas and keeping them in the portfolio, right? If you learn a philosophical idea in the humanities class, then you might probably keep it over there in the e-portfolio, and then you can apply it in your other classes. And instructors or teachers can also be using the e-portfolio in order to know the students. If the portfolio is already there, then student can share the portfolio with the teacher, so the teacher can have an idea about the student's academic dimension, and teacher can also try to assess the student, right? And teacher can also provide feedback to these students. Now, these are the major providers of e-portfolios. WordPress is there, Wix.com is there, and Google Sites is there. So these three, I've chosen these three, and of these three, I'll be giving you hands-on or a way to create e-portfolio through Google Sites. Okay. So the first thing is that you go to Google Drive. If you have, this is the last section, by the way. So if you have a Google account, then you can go to Google Drive, right? And once you are in the Google Drive, on the left side, just follow this bright orange arrow, right? So on the left side, you will see this button, new. You click that button. Okay, you click that button, and then this button will open several options, and you go to the last option, which is more, right? Sorry. You go to this option, more, and once you click this option, more, it will open several other options. And in these several options, you choose the Google Sites option. Okay. And this Google Sites option will take you to the Google Sites. This is how the Google Sites appears to you, and this is your personal domain. This is where you will create your e-portfolio. So the first thing is to give a title to your portfolio or e-portfolio. So this is, you click this area on the left top, and then you can give a title to your site. You give the title to the site, you click this, and then you give the title, right? You can just use your title over here. You can paste the title over here, right? And after the title, what you can do is you can then click the your page title, and there you can name the page also. You can put a name to your page also, right? So one is the title of the portfolio, e-portfolio. Another will be title of the page, because you can have several pages. with the several pages with the different
Dr. Sukhdev, please unmute yourself. I think your audio is muted now. It is muted.
Oh, so sorry. It just got muted. Sorry. Just a minute. Yeah, I think it's okay. Can you hear it?
Yes, go ahead.
Okay. So what I was saying was that then you click the your page title section. Okay, so that you can give the title to your page. Okay, and once you click it, you give name to it. This is somebody's material that I'm using, right? I just made the these what is it? I just made the these slides. Okay, so you can just name the title. Okay, mostly the title of the page is also the title of your e-portfolio, right? So use the same title for ease. Okay, and after that what you need to do is you need to push the button called publish over here. Okay, this button you need to push. So what this button will do is it will lead you to the URL of your e-portfolio. Okay, so this is the option which will be opening, and the title of your e-portfolio is the URL also, right? The same thing is the URL also. So in this you can see over here it is the URL, and after just ensuring that this is the URL, then you will you are supposed to click the manage button, this button manage. Okay, you click that button manage, and this manage button is clicked for checking the correct setting for your e-portfolio, and this manage button will take you to further settings. What are the settings that you want to keep? So do you want other people to edit your e-portfolio? Most probably no. Okay, so you can choose these options, whether you want other people to edit your e-portfolio, right? You can also choose who has the access, who can see and find you, right? So all these options are there, right? And once you have set the correct setting, whichever setting you are seeking, then you then you click the done button. Okay, and once you click the done button, okay, after that again after that you go to once you've clicked the done button, then you move to the next button to create the link, because ultimately as a student, if you are a student, ultimately you are creating the e-portfolio to be shared with your teacher. So for that you need to click the link creation button over here. This is the link creation button. So you click that button, and this will open further options. So over here the link is created, and once the link is created, then you will copy the link. Okay, just click the copy link, and then you can share it. Okay, then you can share it, and once you have shared it or you want to share it, after that you can also customize your e-portfolio. How you can customize? Different tools of customization have been given. So all these tools are part of the application of ICT. So you can customize text, you can customize images, you can put content from your G Drive, Google Drive, right? So these kind of customization you can do, and by customization you can also create content, right? So these are the different customization. If you click the text option, their text will appear. If you click image, then image will appear, right? So these kind of customizations you can use, right? From Google Drive also, you can take the different items or things you want to put. And if you want to search content online, then you can use the search option over here, and you can use content online. And after that, you can go to the layouts. You can give a different look to your portfolio. So these are the layouts, different sort of layouts, which will give a different look or attractive look to your e-portfolio, to your students' e-portfolio, right? So you can choose the layouts. Okay, these are different layouts, and you can drag and drop the content over here, right? And afterwards, you create the home page. And the basic idea about home page is that the home page should be clean, right? It should be simple, and it should be easy to read. That home page should be like this: clean, simple, but easy to read. You also add a photograph of yourself, most probably the headshot, in which your head is more visible, right? Head and shoulders are visible, right? So you use the headshot, right? And you can also then create other sections. After home page, you can create other sections also. And the other sections are about me section, right? So you can create the about me section, in which you can write about yourself, who you are, where you work, what you are doing, whether you are a student, etc., right? So you can fix that section, about me section. You can also fix the sections of your favorite subjects, right? Or different subjects you can fix. And in these sections, in these sections of your subjects, you can put different material related to your assignments, your grades, etc., right? So those things you can keep. You can also create the section of goals for the semester. As a student, you might have some goals for the semester. You want to achieve A pluses in all the subjects, that kind of thing. You can also create a section of your clubs and sports or groups you are part of. That section can also be created, and the events in which you are participating, details about those events, photographs, etc., you can fix in this section. Clubs, groups, and sports, right? And then another important, whatever you are reading or you have read, or your favorite books, etc., you can fix them also, which means you can fix their photograph. You can also fix some sort of link to buy them, or if it is freely available, link to get them freely, right? So you can fix those things also, right? And you can also create a section about accolades, or your achievements, whatever achievements as a student or even as a teacher you have achieved. You can showcase that also, right, through accolades section, right? And you can also create a section of different classes, right? one uh, one page for each of your class. You can talk about those classes in detail, the discussions which have happened, how it has impacted, etc. So all those kind of things you can add. You can also add a passion page for yourself, the activities in which you are interested beyond your academics. You can place those things also. This way your e-portfolio will be created, and this can be a way to showcase your academic growth and progress, as well as create your personal presence online in a very valid and free of cost way. Thank you. Here we end.
Thank you, sir. I think participant might have some questions. I will just unmute them, and they will directly ask the questions. Yes. Please unmute yourself, then you can ask the question. I think Ripti Chand wants to ask the question. Just unmute yourself and put your question.
Sorry.
No, I think one participant raised the hand. So I am,
Okay.
I think Ripti Chand. Please put a question.
You can ask directly.
Yes, yes. You can just unmute yourself and put your question. Or else anyone who is interested to ask, please mute yourself and you can ask.
This was more of a training kind of a session because these were all the technologies which I have learned over the years, and which other people also learn, and which obviously we share, teach others. For instance, the PhD students that I have, so gradually I'm also trying to train them in these technologies. Although obviously they are all intelligent people, so they learn by themselves also. As much as I can train them or help them, so that in future it will be useful for them also. So
now in this particular scenario or situations like in COVID-19,
yeah,
I think ICT plays a vital role. So the teaching method has changed from
teaching
classroom.
method, classroom is changed completely. I agree, completely agree.
Yeah, someone is trying to ask the question. Please go ahead.
Yeah.
Anyone is there to ask the question? Please repeat. Someone is asking about, I think, please repeat the course name and your discussion course.
Learning to teach online.
The course you completed from, I think,
UNSW.
from the university. Yes, they are asking about the particular course name.
Yeah, the name of the course is Learning to Teach Online, LTTO. Learning to Teach Online. The instructor's name is Simon McIntyre. And you can find this course on Coursera. There is this website, Coursera, platform Coursera. You can find it there. And you can find several other courses which might be, which might depend on your interest. So, for instance, next course I'm thinking to learn is photography. I mean, I already have experience in photography, but let me see what they can teach me. So, next is photography. That would be interesting to
and
learn.
some other MTP also will also invite you related to photographic. Okay. Any more questions from the participant? I don't think.
Please ask questions, because the questions will make me also improve, because I'm not a perfect person, right?
Even if they are not putting any questions, if you want to discuss something, they can also.
Yeah. If not questions, discussions.
Or want to supplement certain things, they can also.
Yes. All suggestions are welcome. I am open to all suggestions.
Anyone else there? I think
are they able to unmute themselves? Because
they have to unmute themselves, because I have allowed all those participants.
Okay.
They have
Okay.
Anyway, I think we do not have any questions. If I get it in between, then I will share with you. And thank you, sir, for accepting our invitation and deliver two different topics. And I'm sure our participants enjoyed. And your session basically focused on why the ICT is required, and we should know about the importance, and particularly in this particular scenario, and how the classroom teaching will be different from this ICT mode. So until unless we are expertise in this field, we cannot teach to our students. So with this, thank you, sir. Thank you for your presentations. And I think some participants are asking about your PPT. If you can share your PPT,
yeah,
I think it will
sure.
be.
I will.
Okay. So with this, we'll conclude here, and we'll move our last session at 2:30. Thank you all.
Thank you, Deepak, for this opportunity.
Thank you.
And this is just a stepping stone. What I was saying is, this is just a stepping stone.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you. Bye, everyone.